How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to San Francisco. It might not look like the San Francisco that you've seen on TV and in the movies, but this is the real San Francisco, and San Francisco happens to want fuel. This is a new development. They've decided they want fuel, and I sort of have an idea. It might not be a good idea, but I have an idea for how I can make this happen. Because I have a theory, and that theory is basically that if I just throw a whole bunch of fuel at them, they're going to be very happy about that, and I want them to be happy. Now, we have this thing here. We have Everett Fuel Refinery, which will take 2 oil sand and turn that into fuel and sand. So for every 2, we get 1, so therefore we can have a maximum of 600 oil sand produced somewhere. That will then give us 300 fuel and 300 sand. So that's not a bad idea, especially when you consider that if we use a bit of sand over here, we can then turn that 300 sand into 600 bricks. And when you consider that we have places like Alexandria, Corpus Christi, Norfolk, and elsewhere that happen to, I pronounced that right, by the way. When they all happen to want bricks, that could work out kind of nicely if we were to bring 600 oil sand down here. The question is, of course, where are we going to get 600 oil sand? Well, it turns out that Des Moines has an oil sand mine right here. It actually has 2 of them, apparently. I'm not sure where the other one is, but there are apparently 2 of them. Oh, there's the other one. That's on the other side of the river, though, so I don't really want to use that. But what I'm thinking is I could build a train right here. I could build a train that can carry 600 oil sand and then just bring that all the way down here. It would run empty the entire way back, which admittedly, I don't know if that's a good idea, but that's what it would do. It would just run empty the entire way back. It'd just be a one-way thing to bring all that oil sand down here. I kind of want to do it because it feels like it's the first step on the journey towards me potentially having one of those giant 1,500, 1.5 kilometer long trains that I talked about in the last episode. So I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm going to hope for the best is what I'm going to do. So I guess we'll start up here, and oh no, I need you. I'm never going to have this running before. Well, I have 8.8. I might be able to do this. This is either going to be the best thing I've ever done or a catastrophic waste of money. And I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be, but we're going to find out together. So this guy's going to live right here, and that's totally fine. And then we need to go all the way down towards, hello, Seattle, down to San Francisco, down to this guy. And we have Everett sort of in the way. So where is this coming in from? It's going to come down here, down here, down here, down here. Everett is very much in the way. So maybe sort of around Everett or down and around Everett. I think down and around is the way to go. So that says to me that what I really might want to do is sort of redo some of these roads for a second because they're a little bit nasty looking. Take you out of there as well. And we'll do this to start with. And then we'll just run a road sort of like this. And that should be fine. And then I can maybe put my train on that. Although I'm thinking maybe take this right back. So take all of this out for a second. And then what we do is bring this guy out at sort of a right angle like this. A little bit nasty looking, but I'm kind of willing to make this work. So we'll connect these guys together again. Bulldoze you. That seems fine. I can put my train station in there. A little something like this, assuming that's actually going to connect to everything, which it looks like it will. So that's totally fine by me. It needs to be a longer platform though. 320 meters is probably still not going to be long enough, but it'll work. Same with the one up there at Des Moines, but again, we'll make it work. And then now I just need to connect this all together. So I need some tracks that are going to go straight out of here, which, yeah, that's not great looking. Hold on a minute. Let's try and make this look a little bit better because that is sort of terrible looking. So something like this, and that's a bit better, and something like that. Is that okay? Yeah, that's a little bit more level, which I'm kind of okay with. So we'll bring this over, and then I guess we'll just bring this one down from Des Moines and hope for the best. Can I go in a nice straight line here without it being a bit chaotic? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's 1.3 mil. I mean, I can afford it. I can afford it, which, I mean, I get, yeah, you know what, we'll do it. We'll go for it. I can't go through this. I need to be really, really particular with where my lines go. So let's sort of go, I don't want this. I don't want the bridge. I also don't want it to be that expensive. So let's maybe go to the right instead. And is there any world in which I can make this not that expensive? I think I'm going to have to just do it in tiny little sections. That seems like it's going to be my only option here. And I don't like that that's my only option, but I think it's going to be my only option. Can I lower you down a bit? Yeah, I can lower that down. It keeps the 75 miles per hour, which is totally fine. Can I get it that way? I don't like how elevated it is, but it's going to have to do the job. And then this way is carving out so much of that terrain. That is actually kind of ridiculous looking. So we'll go for here. I'm going to try and carve out as little of the terrain as I can, which I guess that's fine. Again, I don't like that it's as curvy as it is right now, but that's something we're going to have to just deal with. And I think if I just continue in a straight line here, it's going to hit that farm. So we can go down to the right towards Seattle. We can go sort of around Seattle that way, and that'll work out. So yeah, this can just keep going in as much of a straight line as it can manage for the time being. And so just like that, we have ourselves a giant train line, which I'm very much okay with. I do, however, need to get some kind of connection to some kind of train depot. And I think what I'm going to do is actually put a depot over here in good old Seattle, so I don't have to connect things all weird like to San Francisco. So we'll go ahead and do something like, yeah, I think something like this should be fine if we just put the depot kind of right in here. So we'll tuck it right against those buildings. We are going to get rid of this road, and we'll bring ourselves a little section of track just straight down here. Now this actually might not work. This might be a little bit too close to everything, but I want to find out if it's going to be possible to just do, no, it's not going to be possible at all. It can go that way. It cannot go that way. It's too much curvature. Okay. In that case, we'll bring this down a little bit further than it is right now to about there. And can this connect over this way? It absolutely can, which is totally fine by me. That might just be the connection that we make. We might not bother trying to get too creative with this. I could do that as well though, which I'm not against doing, honestly. I think we will do that just because we can. I think that's fine. And that's going to be our connection. So that's basically the way this line is going to be set up. So now what I need to do is create a line that goes from here, if it's going to let me do that, which it is. So we start in Des Moines and we come all the way down to San Francisco or Everett, I guess. It's going to be train cargo. It is Des Moines. That's how you spell it. And it's going to be, I guess, fuel sand to fuel and sand, which, I mean, that, yeah, makes sense. So that's how we'll set that up. We'll go for, I don't know what color. We'll go for a sort of nice pink on that one, I guess. And that should be all right. Again, gonna need a huge train for this to work the way I want it to, which I can't afford right now, but that's, I hadn't really thought about the fact that I can't afford the train. I got really carried away. I got really carried away with this idea and I didn't once stop to think, hold on, can I actually afford this train? The answer is, of course, no, I cannot. That's fine. This will at least be a really basic way to get some fuel into San Francisco. So that's how I'm going to choose to look at this as a as a project. That's fine. Can I get this to line up nicely at all? Can I get like a nice sort of right angle turn on this? Looks like I can, which honestly I'm kind of fine with doing. So we'll do this, and that's where we're going to pick everything up. Can I change out this road for something a bit better looking? I absolutely can. So we'll do that once the game's done auto-saving, of course. And that's basically where we're just going to pick up the fuel, and that'll be totally fine. It's not a nice angle at all for that depot. That's really, really annoying me, but it's, I'm going to have to deal with it. I'm not moving it. It's fine. So new line from here. Whereabouts in San Francisco wants fuel? That's the real question. This guy. So what we'll do is put a truck stop right here. and we'll go back into our new line, add station right there. And that is going to be road cargo. That is going to be San Francisco, and that is going to be fuel delivery. And so San Francisco is that lovely blue color at the top there. Okay. So what we're going to do is get ourselves some vehicles. We need cargo. We are going to be using, I'm going to say this guy, and we'll put 3 of them on the line for now. That'll be totally fine. So road cargo, San Francisco, fuel delivery. Okay. Now I need a train. And this is the tricky part because I don't have the money for a train. The game is still paused. That's actually deliberate this time because I don't want this thing to disappear. So I just need a cheap train, to be quite honest. So the Mogul, the 10-wheeler. I mean, the 10-wheeler, I think, is what we're going to have to go for here. We just need something cheap that can move the way I want it to move. So that's 2 million. And then the tank cars are 560 each. So I can I get 3 of them, which is about as good as it's going to be. So this is going to be moving fuel. Can I just paint the entire thing? I can paint the entire thing orange. Interesting. Let's paint it. I don't know, purple. It's a pink line. I could just paint it bright pink. That might be kind of silly looking, but you know what? We'll do it. When have I ever been serious about my transport fever? So now that's running. Are you, why did I do, oh my, I did the wrong wagons. I had the word fuel in my head rather than fuel sand. And I just bought the, okay. I really hope I can replace those very, very easily. So I'm not moving these guys. I'm moving fuel sand, which is moved on a flat car apparently. Okay, or oil sand. Oil sand, fuel sand, same thing. 1, 2, 3. I can't afford that. Okay, so that'll keep us good. And that means that this line needs to be renamed to oil sand rather than fuel sand. So there we go. So now that's heading out. This guy is no longer going to be closing down because it is now producing stuff, which is great. So now what I want to do is I want to go in here and I want to configure this line to say that when you're in Des Moines, you are going to wait until you're full, basically. So it's not going to leave until it's full, and that'll be totally fine. And where is the train right now? It is going that way. So that is going to start working pretty much immediately, which is great news. The sand from this guy can go into bricks, and then those bricks could, I mean, they could go up to here. We could put a station here, bring them into Corpus Christi. Might not be a bad idea. Bring them down to Norfolk as well. So this might work out. And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't this train have the capacity to move bricks? It does. This is actually shaping up to be a relatively profitable line. Ooh, I like that. Now it can't, admittedly, it can't move the sand is the problem. That's going to hold us back a little bit. But this actually might legitimately be a really, really good line for us once we get things going a little bit. And here's the other beautiful thing. Seattle wants fuel as well. In fact, it wants quite a decent amount of fuel. It also wants tools, which now that I think about it, do we have anywhere nearby that can make the tools for Seattle? Not really. We do have this new steel mill down by San Francisco, which is also going to give us slag, which could be great for construction materials. And speaking of that, we really should start to get this guy going. Because again, this is a similar story, much in the way it's 1 sand, 2 construction material. It's also 1 slag, and we have plenty of production for that. We have it right here. So it stands to reason that we could probably leverage this to get some extra bricks for either Salem, which kind of needs them, kind of doesn't, but also for Oklahoma City, which we haven't done anything with thus far. So definitely curious to see how all this works out. I think more so than anything though, I want to see how much this guy gets. I've already upgraded it. We're already sitting on a lovely 72 of 72 oil sand. So I'm curious to see how it plays out. That's such a bumpy line for the train there. That's kind of ridiculous, but it's about all I could do. I'm not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars more than I need to on a train that goes over bridges and all that stuff. If the bridges were made of wood, then maybe, but they're not. They're made of stone and they're very expensive. Either way, let's take a look and see how we're doing here. We have 3 point something million for that. That was nothing. That was nothing. That was, wow. Okay. We're going to have some fun is what we're going to have here. I'm going to 144. So this thing is going to slow down a little bit, but we're going to double the amount of oil sand that we can move on this guy. Oh, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to have some great fun with this. This is going to be my moneymaker. This is absolutely going to be my moneymaker. Although in saying that, it does, well, yes, it runs empty right now, but it doesn't have to forever, right? That's kind of the thing we've realized is I should take this, I really should get this sand moving sooner than later. Oh, I'm having ideas. Warren wants fuel as well. We have some potential here is what we have. We have some really great potential here. I'm curious to see how quickly San Francisco starts to need more fuel as we start providing it, but we're going to have to wait a bit. We're negative $900,000 right now. So it's going good, but it's also going really badly. Oh, and now Salem wants fuel as well. Now that's particularly interesting. That's also cool that we now have 5 things being demanded here and quite a decent amount of it right off the bat as well. I'm not against bringing fuel into Salem. I don't necessarily want to do it by train, but I could swap this station out for a station that goes straight through, bring it up and connect it to this line, double up this line and use the same station to drop fuel into Salem. I'd need a dedicated train for it. It's kind of the only downside, but it's completely possible. It is completely possible. So maybe that's a thing we do. I don't know. I'm definitely considering it. I think we'll hold off and just try and get Salem some other things as well. And I also want to save up some money because I do really want to start getting some things into Oklahoma City as well. But I'm kind of enjoying focusing on this little space. And I do think we should look at machines for High Points and machines for San Francisco because we haven't done that yet, which for the most part is relying on this space up here and this one train, which is moving. I mean, it's moving a decent amount of silver, right? Yeah, we have so much silver in storage. It's kind of the steel that's holding us back. So we kind of need to increase the steel production. And we can do that in one of 2 ways. We can either look into moving some coal and some iron from this area. I mean, that's one option. We could, I don't know, actually. I was going to say we could move these guys and start shipping it into here and then move the steel to there. But I think realistically what I'd like to do is just get more steel coming down here. Now I have $1.8 million. I've kind of got 2 choices here. I can either look at an alternate source for the steel, or I can just double the number of vehicles coming down here, which is what I usually do. Now, how many vehicles are on this line right now? There are 26 with a rate of 136. So a rate of 136 is interesting. A rate of 136. So reasonably, I would need to bring that up to, I want to bring that to like 300. Doubling that would bring it close. It wouldn't bring it to 300, but it would bring it pretty close. I'm leaning back on my idea of the giant train thing, because also we're at $8.2 million right now. So I'm assuming, yeah, the oil sand thing made a pretty substantial drop recently. Yeah, he's down here. So this guy is going to be producing a lot of fuel, and that's great. That's what we're looking for. I kind of want to just max this thing out. I'm not going to lie. I kind of just want to go and manage vehicle and be like, hey, how many of these do I need? I need a new locomotive as well. Now that I think about it, we need a powerful locomotive on this thing. So we'll go with the Mikado, since that's like the most powerful one we have. And unfortunately, I don't think only the top of it's bright pink. That's fine. 2.4 million is whatever. It's manageable. And then a flat car with side stakes. So I want to bring this up to like a capacity of 300. I don't know how long it can be though. but a capacity of 300 is 322 meters. I can't afford the money to do this actually. So let's drop out some wagons until I can afford it. I can afford that 252. That's not quite doubling the, you know what? We're doing it. We're doing it. It's beautiful. Here's what it is. Absolutely beautiful. I could barely afford it. I just got the money and have already blown it on upgrading the train, but you know what? I think it's going to be worth it. I really do. I think it's absolutely going to be worth it because that thing's just making so much money every single time. So yeah, I'm totally down to just let that thing keep doing what it's doing and then use that money to eventually build the bridge in Kansas City. This is going to be this is my back burner project, I think, which by the way, is still using the old trucks. So it's no wonder that Kansas City is really struggling right now. But this is I want to turn Kansas City into a really great hub for food and fuel and everything it could ever need. That's something I do want to do. But here's where I'm holding myself up right now. Here's what I'm thinking. We could ooh, we're getting some new trucks. This is actually really good timing for me because I can either put more vehicles on these lines to bring more stuff down here for more steel and then bring it up here. Or I can look into steel production a little bit closer to where we're making machines up this way, which I mean, we have some iron and some coal nearby. There is no steel production nearby. Not that I can see anyway, which is kind of a pain. But that's, well, actually in saying that there is over by Everett. So we could bring that over to Everett and then bring it up. But again, already kind of doing that in this area. Long story short, what I'm thinking is I'm trying to weigh up my options in terms of bringing more supplies down here. We could either bring it from these lines or we could probably bring it from Kansas City and Garland if we really wanted to. Which might not be the worst idea, actually. Instead of overloading this entire space, we just bring in some extra lines to do things. And I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I didn't actually notice that this was here. I mean, I did. I've always known it was here, but I just haven't been paying attention, to be completely honest. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the way we're going to go about this. I just need some money. So I guess we'll wait for the moneymaker to get out of Des Moines, which, how are we looking right now? Oh my God. That's so good. 252 with how much weight in here? 110. Yeah, we can bring this thing up to 300 easily. I also sort of managed to fix the issue with the Salem food production train. I don't really know what was wrong with it. I just sort of reset everything and now it's working and making me a grand total of $686,000 for something like 64 units of food into Salem. So they are relatively happy about that, which is great news. They do want fuel again, which is also great news. And we do have the moneymaker well on its way to the fuel refinery, which is great news. So everything's going pretty well in that regard. I'm looking forward to this guy getting in here. I'm not going to lie, because we do need the money. And I don't know that I'm going to need to upgrade it again. I'll be completely honest. Let's have a very quick look. It is down there, actually. It's definitely down there. Negative 2.6. A little bit concerning. Not gonna lie, it might not be making as much money as I was hoping, but once we start moving bricks the other way, I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's have ourselves a little bit of a look. It is gonna be $11.6 million. Casual. A casual 11.6 million. I'll tell you what. Let's modify this guy. Let's do 3 more of these things. 1, 2, 3. 288. Can I do one more? 300. Yeah, 322. We'll go with that. So that'll be fine. It's a little bit longer than stations, but it has a nice round 300 capacity now, so I'm kind of all right with that. And I guess at this point we will try and set up this little extra production line for some extra resources coming in here, so we can have some coal coming out of Kansas City. If I built a little bridge down here, this El Paso coal mine would be fantastic. Same with this iron ore mine. Those are considerably closer, and I think I'm going to. I think honestly that might be the play here. Is invest in a bridge and just go from there. So can I get this in a nice straight line, something like this? So that's solid. I could elevate it further. I don't think I need to. Could do that one. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna stick with this one. I don't like that it sort of overextends here and it's 1.4 million, but you know what? We'll do it. So we get this. That's going to be a supply of coal. This will be a supply of iron ore. We can bring ourselves a little road sort of off of, say, here. Should be totally fine. And I just want to connect these guys together. So you to there. It's a lot of money for a very simple road, but I'll allow it, I guess. And then, yeah, all I need to do here is bring more coal, more iron into here. That'll be more steel, which will be more tools, which will be more steel to the train, and just more money in general. We're slowly getting to the point of the game where it starts to spiral a little bit, and it's spiraling in a good way. It's not a bad thing that it's spiraling. It's what you want it to do, really, is spiral. It's getting there, which again is a good thing. I'm not complaining about it. I don't love that. I don't love that slope. I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot. It's a lot of land that we're cutting away there, but you know what? We'll go for it. And we'll do the same thing over here. We'll try and build this thing at kind of an angle that works with the building itself. In fact, if I do the platforms on the left this time, and I do it this way, that's actually kind of cool. I'm kind of there for it. I bring it down a little bit, maybe bring it back a little bit. Something kind of like that. I'm kind of okay with it. Yeah, that looks all right. Let's maybe upgrade this road as well, just because I can and I want to. It looks a little bit better. Same with this guy, maybe just upgrade the entire thing so it's a little fancier. Yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. I don't mind that at all. So that'll be coal, that'll be iron. We just need to set up those lines and away we go. And you know what? While we're doing this, I'm very tempted to start bringing some tools down into El Paso, since that's kind of the place that we're coming out of here to do a lot of this. But I think just for the time being, we'll put a little road depot in here just so I remember to revisit this place. This is the industrial side of town, so we'll put it sort of over here so it's not next to a bunch of residential houses and stuff like that, and commercial buildings. So we'll go for about there. It should be totally fine. And what we'll do is have a look here. So the tarpaulin truck, this thing is 25 miles per hour versus 20. So this thing doesn't carry as much as the other one. That's interesting. We could do the tank trucks though for the fuel line, which I'm definitely considering doing. San Francisco fuel delivery. Let me replace you guys. So 7 versus 8, same speed. Yeah, we'll replace those with tank trucks since that's just moving fuel. Which seems like a fair shout. And then these guys, we're just going to stick with the Benz tarpaulin truck. We'll go for 5 of them for now. We'll get them in pink and we'll set that on the El Paso coal to steel line. We can get ourselves another 5 of them right here. Get them in pink and put them on the iron to steel line. So that'll be resources moving out there. We have the coal coming in. We should have the iron coming in here momentarily. I think, maybe. This guy doesn't seem to want to do anything right now, which is a little bit worrying. I suppose, yeah, we have got enough iron, so this might actually be a challenge now that I think about it. This might not work the way I'm hoping it was going to work, because I think what's going to happen here is these mines down here aren't going to operate at the same kind of capacity that I'm looking for. They're going to be, yeah, I mean, well, they might build up. They might get there. I don't know. They will at the very least add some extra resources into here, which is great. But I'm almost wondering if I look at this guy and I go to manage the line and I say, El Paso transfer. I want you on all of the platforms. That'll be fine. I don't remember what platforms we're using here. We'll say 1, 2, and 3 for the drop off, which should be fine. It's barely carrying anything though. So I almost wonder if I look at this line, it has a rate of 58. Getting this guy up to a rate of like 300 will be so much easier than getting this other one. It'll need less vehicles because it's closer. And then this one down here has a rate of 23. So this one reasonably needs to be doubled already, which I don't love. I don't love the idea of doing this, but we'll go for it anyway. We're up to $17 million right now, so I think we can afford it. Okay, so I'm gonna move away from all of this for a second. I've got the game paused on purpose because I'm thinking I'm gonna subsidize San Francisco's tools problem or tools demand a little bit. We have this sawmill that's about to close down, so I'm going to keep the game paused until I get this sawmill to not close down, because my thinking is that that's probably how I'm going to try and do this. So I'm going to bring this road out here. We'll go for the slightly smaller one, just because we might as well. And I'm going to bring this guy sort of over this way. We'll go in a nice straight line here, if I can get it to line up, which, I mean, that's fine. I don't love that it's doing all the terrain stuff, but honestly, it's what it is, not the end of the world. This is then going to sort of continue. I'd really rather it didn't give me a bunch of grass there, so we'll just sort of continue it like this. And then this guy is going to continue up like this, which is totally fine. So that gives us a nice connection from this forest to everything else. This road, honestly, I think we can just get rid of, since we're not really going to be using it and it's serving pretty much no purpose. What I then want to do is I want to bring a road right out of here, something a bit like that. And I'm gonna sort of continue this road in a nice straight line down here. This is gonna be a pretty major road at some point, and we're just gonna keep going and going and going down to about here. This road is gonna sort of come up to meet it, to about, I'm gonna say there. We can curve these guys together, and that'll give us a really nice little connection straight down into this tools processing plant. We can bring a road kind of through here as well, which is another bit of access to a forest, which is completely fine. And that's basically going to be our little production line. Now, what I could do is I could set this up so that we use this forest. So we have trucks that start here, so they pick up some of the logs, they bring them to here, into San Francisco, and then they only run empty from San Francisco back to the forest. The problem with that is that it's 2 to 1. We need 2 logs for every 1 plank, and it's 1 to 1. So realistically, it's a 2 to 1 ratio on the logs to tools in general. So what I'm going to try and do here is get 200 planks going in here for every, well, 100 tools at the end of the day. So I could use both of these actually, and I think that's actually what I'm going to do. So if I go in and I say truck station and I say, give me, I think 2 platforms is probably fine. I think that's probably all we're realistically going to need. We don't need to go too much further than that. So we'll say, give me the 2 platforms. They're both 30 meters, which is totally fine. So we'll put this guy here, and we'll do another one sort of down here somewhere. We'll just do it maybe, I can kind of do it in here really, if I wanted to. So I think that's what we're going to go for, is maybe flip it the other way. So we have 2 on the other side. So it's kind of like this. I think I'm kind of okay with that. It's not the nicest looking, but it'll definitely do the job. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So we'll have 100 logs getting picked up here, 100 logs getting picked up here. So this one is going to run empty on the way back. This one will sort of loop around the way I mentioned, which I think is fine. So it'll be 100. Yeah, because this one's bringing in 100. This one's bringing in 100. That'll give us 200 production here. So this will bring in, say it brings in 4. It'll load up with 4 planks because this one's kind of adding to it. So yeah, this will work, I think. Yeah. We'll go with the idea that this will work is what we're going to do here. I'm also going to put this thing here because I think this is probably a better spot for it. In fact, would it be better for me to use a truck sort of drop off point here so that the trucks from this side didn't need to go too far? I think it might be. I think that might be a great idea because I can get away with putting it kind of far back. Like I can put it here and that sort of works. It's going to be like, it's going to have trucks U-turning, which is maybe a bit strange, but I'm sort of okay with that. And then the truck station for the other side can reasonably go just like here. And I think that's all right. I think we can get away with that. So we'll give that a shot. And then for this guy, it's going to have 1 line of trucks coming in. So we'll just do, can I get it up here? Is that going to be an option if I put it here? No. Can I put it here? No. It is going to have to be on this road, which is completely fine. So we'll go for something like that. Seems pretty good. So right about there. And then it goes in, it'll pick things up. It'll go into San Francisco, and tools drop off can be, I'm going to say on this street here is where we can do the tools drop off. So right about there will be where we drop them off. So let's set up some lines and see how this is going to work. So we want to go from here. We want to go to here. We want to go to there. And we want to go to there. I think that's how I want to do this. I'm pretty sure that's how I want to do this. So this is going to be road cargo, San Francisco, and it's going to be, I guess, tools production is what we'll call it, since it is the entire route of tools production. And then what we want to do is we want to go for a full load here in lower San Francisco. In Garland Sidings, we want to use both platforms. We also want to do the same thing here. So we want to use both platforms. We want to say, I want to go for full load on this as well. And I want to make sure that this is only doing one thing, and that is going to be unloading logs and loading up on planks. And then down this way, we want to use both platforms, and we want to full load as well. And it's a similar story. We're going to be unloading the planks, or sorry, unloading the planks, loading up on tools. And then this is just deliver everything. So that should get up and running pretty quickly. This one is probably not going to be considered a San Francisco line. I'm going to call it a San Francisco line just because it's easier. But it's realistically not one. So again, it's going to be road cargo. It's going to be San Francisco, and it's going to be logs to planks, and that'll be totally fine. So we'll get that in light blue as well. And then what I want to do is I want to come over here. I want to go to my vehicles, and what choices do I have? So we do actually have some good choices here for the logs one anyway. So for this guy, we can get up to 80 logs. So if I did 12, so 10 would be 80 and 12 would be 96. So we'll go for 12 of them. We'll go for 13 of them. That'll give us a little bit of excess, which is good. And that's going to go on our logs to planks line. And then the other one needs a rate of about 100. This guy has 7, so 10 of these. 13 would be 91. So I probably want 15 of these, I think. So we'll do 15. We'll buy those. We'll paint them blue, and they are going to go on the tools production line. And we'll see how that plays out. We should see both of these guys starting up logs production, which they absolutely are, which is absolutely fantastic. I need them to kind of get there quickly, though, before this thing closes down in 136 days. We will probably be able to make this work, but I really need these guys to be quick with everything they're doing. So hopefully that works out. We'll see what happens with it. It seems like a decent little bit of infrastructure, though. And if I've done my math correctly... Oh, wait a minute. There's one down here as well. Okay, so if this one does... Wait, no, that's not what I'm looking for. It's this. It's a sawmill. Never mind. Where's the other nearest sawmill? There isn't one nearby. So yeah, this kind of needs to work. And I mean, looking at this, they're all loading up, so we should be fine. I'm also kind of thinking that it might not be a bad idea to get some extra lanes along here, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. So I think it's fair to say that my little production line for some extra iron and some extra coal down here is not really doing what I had hoped it would do. It is sort of adding to things. We are seeing a bit more steel going to the train, but it's not really doing as much as I'd hoped it would. I don't know if I'm going to keep these lines, to be honest. I'm very, very tempted to get rid of them. I just don't know that I see a need for them, really. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But in saying that, we are doing crazy amounts of money right now, and I've had a bit of an idea. And my idea before we wrap things up for today is I want to come in here. I want to get rid of this guy, and I want to bring myself. Ooh, we have reached the part of the game where I get proper roads, which means I've also got high-speed rail, which I'm very excited about. Interesting. We're gonna have to do something with that at some point sooner than later, because yeah, high speed everything is definitely the way to go. Being able to speed up my trains and really, that's exciting. That's very, very exciting. But for the time being, my plan really is going to be to just bring a road straight over here. And what I think I'm going to try and do is have trucks that are going to take sand over to this building and then bring back construction materials. Now, the issue with that is it's a 2-to-1. So realistically speaking, I'm going to need more trucks coming back than I have going one way. But the reason I want to do this is because I can put the construction material on the train and then I can just say, hey, go ahead and drop it off in Corpus Christi and we'll bring it down here as well. So I can start, you know, sort of start moving it around that way, which I think is a pretty solid idea. Now, when it comes to this road, what can I do with it? Can I get something like this? Do I want a tunnel? I kind of do, actually. I like the idea of the tunnel going underneath the trees. That's actually kind of cool. So we'll go with that. And I mean, we can use this same depot or depot, whatever we want to call it, because at the end of the day, this line here, the San Francisco one, I think reasonably we can say it's doing fine. It has a rate of 35, which is fine. It could be better, but it's fine. It's doing okay. We could bring some vehicles up to Seattle as well, but my main plan right now is going to be buildings. It is going to be a truck station. And I mean, reasonably, we only need one platform, I think. So yeah, I think it is 1 to 2, right? Yeah, 1 sand for 2 bricks. This thing's going to fill up unless I start moving the bricks somewhere else. And I don't know where I would move it to. Does anywhere, like Garland doesn't have demand for it. Alexandria, maybe we take it up that way. That might be what we have to do. Regardless, I want to build this thing and then we're gonna wrap it up for today because I'm going on a little bit with this one as well. And I've said it before, I will probably say it again. I'm really trying to not make these episodes ridiculously long. So let's see what we can do. We'll get this guy here. We have that over here. And you know what? We'll put one up here as well, just to start, you know, sort of get this place going a little bit. And it actually just needs to be an unload stop, which is completely fine by me. We'll go ahead and put it right about there. Should be totally fine. We're going to be using this sort of country road to get up there. We'll need to connect it and everything, which is completely fine, but we're not doing that just yet. This is my priority. So a new line is going to go from here right about to there. That is a beautiful back and forth. I'm very much okay with that. Road cargo. I guess technically it's Everett. So Everett, and it's brick. I guess brick to train. Well, it's sand to brick to train is what we're gonna call that. And then Everett can be a lovely dark purple color, I guess, is what we'll go for there. So that'll be totally fine. That's gonna be a lovely back and forth. And I suppose I do also want to get the Alexandria one as well. So we'll say from here, going all the way up to here, which it can't do right now, which is completely fine. We can make that work. That's gonna be road cargo. And I guess we'll call it Alexandria brick delivery or something like that. And we'll make that that sort of very, very dark blue color. So that's fine. We have some roads to tidy up here. I'm honestly kind of okay with doing that. I actually like the process of tidying up the roads. So very, very quickly, let's replace this road and let's get something connected up this way. And that'll be our way into Alexandria. And there we go. We've got the line set up. We have this beautiful new road that cuts the entire way up to Alexandria as well. So now all we need to do realistically is get ourselves a few vehicles to start moving everything around. So if we come down into San Francisco, we can go to here. Now, we should probably have a look at what the rate is on all of this. So this guy's moving 153. So 153 sand is going to give me 306 on my brick production per year, which is completely fine. That's kind of what we're looking for. So 306 means that 153 is going to be the rate that we're looking for to bring stuff back and forth here. Although in saying that, realistically, no, 153 should be fine actually, because we're splitting it halfway, right? So half of it comes back to go on the train and half of it goes up to Alexandria. So let's set up the Alexandria one first, since that's going to be the easier way to do it. Now, 153 is probably a little bit excessive, to be quite honest, but well, we'll see what happens. We'll do 10 of them for now. So 10 of these guys, we'll paint them that lovely dark blue color, and it's Alexandria brick delivery, and that'll be fine. And then I also need the sand to be going over there as well. So I do actually need the other ones as well. So we'll do 10 of you guys like so. We'll paint you that lovely, lovely dark purple color, and that's Everett sand to brick to train. So I need to set that one up properly, don't I? So you manage, we want to say, I guess we want to go in here and say that you are going to be low. I've gone with the wrong vehicles is what I've done there. Manage vehicles, replace with this guy. We're not going to be moving quite as much, but that's probably fine. We want to manage the line. We want to go here and say you are going to be loading up exclusively on sand right here. And then over there, you're going to be doing nothing but unloading sand and loading up with brick. In fact, on this one, you also want to be unloading the bricks. So we'll have that going on. Those trucks can go back and forth, and that'll be great. And then the Alexandria one, it is annoyingly going to be running empty for half of its line, but what can you do? So you're going to be loading up on bricks and then unloading everything up there, which is completely fine. That's what we're looking for. So now everything can go around, everything can do what it needs to do. And that should be great once it gets going. There is actually some sand in here already, which is fantastic news. We have a lot of this stuff stored too. So this really should get going pretty quickly. And I think what I'm also going to do is maybe look at just sort of moving these roads around a little bit. This entire connection kind of sucks right now. So let me just take out this entire section of road and make it a little bit better. So right back to there. Let's also disconnect this guy for a second, and we'll do something like this. Bring this guy sort of straight out here. It can have a nice, I don't like that slope, but it'll do fine. We can do the same thing over here. So this guy's going to come straight out and just keep on keeping on until it hits something or needs to curve or do something. Again, elevated kind of in a rough way, but not the end of the world. Can I just bring that straight through? I absolutely can. And this is actually going to line up really, really nicely by the looks of it. Almost perfectly lines up there. So let's bring these guys back. Let's get ourselves a nice curve going here. And that's pretty solid, to be quite honest. That's exactly what we're looking for. So that is a much, much better road into San Francisco. Probably wouldn't hurt to have it connect straight through here so that traffic doesn't have to go like around the entire city. That is going to get rid of some of the buildings, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. It's a straight shot through here now, which I think makes a lot more sense. And that seems pretty solid to me. So we should relatively quickly start to see some bricks getting produced here, which is exactly what we're looking for. We don't necessarily have anything we want to bring back from Alexandria. I might have to think of something, but that's all right. What is going on here? So San Francisco fuel delivery is waiting. That's fine. I suppose the next thing to do would be to build a train station right up here and then bring some of the bricks into Corpus Christi and down to Norfolk as well. But I think since we're kind of just getting started with this, I think we can hold off on that. We're also sitting at 292 right here. This thing is actually working pretty perfectly. I've extended this platform so it can hold way more, but this guy will wait here until it's full, which it fills up pretty much immediately. It's basically the perfect length. Every time it comes back, there's another 300 waiting. So yeah, this is working really, really nicely. And I think bringing some bricks from here up to Corpus Christi and Norfolk will give us a bit more money on that line. It's going to be making money in both directions, which is absolutely perfect and absolutely what we're looking for. So I'm really pleased with this new line. It's really, really good, and it's worked out exactly how I hoped it would. Do we have any? We do. We've got some sand on the way here, which is perfect. So that should be coming in. And it's going to be dropped off right about there, which means these guys should be loading up on bricks. There we go. Perfect. In fact, I'm almost wondering if I could say manage line, and in Everett West, can I get you guys to just wait for, I don't know, 2 minutes? Maybe a maximum of 4. And we'll see how that kind of goes. We'll just have them kind of hang out until they have a decent load of bricks. Although I'm wondering, yeah, you're going to wait there even though you've got all the bricks, aren't you? Let's have you say you can head out once it's full. You're not heading out. You're just going to wait there, aren't you? Okay. Let's maybe just do that. So there's no minimum wait time. You just kind of wait there until you're full for like 4 minutes, and that should be all right. So those bricks are heading out. That's going to be a bit more money. We've got the, the sand and all that going back and forth. I don't think you guys are moving any bricks back right now. I haven't set you up to do that. Well, actually, I think you are set up to do it. You just won't because there's nowhere for the bricks to go once they get here. So that's fine. That's progress. That's a beautiful new line. In terms of money across the board, if we look at balance, we are routinely seeing this guy drop down to -3 million, but the thing is, it makes like 11 million per run. So even though it's costing so much, it's the one giant delivery that it makes is more than making up for it. So I'm kind of okay with that. I'm not really too concerned about it. And if anything, there is a distinct temptation to either make this platform longer or make the train longer. The only thing is the train will then sit here for a while because this thing only seems to generate about, like I said, 300 by the time the train leaves and comes back. So that might actually slow down my income. I don't know. I might have to think about that. But anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and leave it there for today. We're doing pretty well in terms of the productions that I was hoping to do well with. So we can hopefully keep that going. I do think I'm going to need to get these bricks moving sooner than later. So the next thing we want to do is get a train station at Corpus Christi. But for the time being, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.